Hi everyone, it's Lavinia and welcome. In today's video, I am going to be actually painting my page for the hashtag JJJC 2025, and this is hosted by Lee at Lee Creates, and it's a junk journal challenge, and at day 3 is where I'm at, which is Botanical, and I am excited about this particular page because I'm hoping that what I have envisioned in my mind, I can actually put down on paper. So here is my journal. And before I get to that, some of the art supplies that I have are some watercolor brush pens. I've used these with the green covers. I've used, except for this one, and I think I have another one in here. And then these I have never used. So I'm hoping to be able to, use them today. So some of these have thicker bristles. They're nylon bristles. So we'll see. I thought I would use them today. And then I have my sticker book. So I'm excited to use this because I have not used it yet. It's the Botanist Sticker Anthology, and I did do a flip through of this, and it's all botanicals. So I'm looking forward to be able to use this. Then, as I mentioned, I'm doing watercolor. So again, my bucket of water here, my brushes, the watercolor set that I'm using. This is just a Master's Touch cheap one, student grade watercolor half pan set, 24 colors. And I've used this plenty of times. And then I'm also going to be using my Tombow dual brush pens. I bought these on clearance. I have several. I have 4 packs. These were on clearance about a year or so ago at Michael's. I hardly ever use them. I'm hoping that this is my prepared page. I already put down gesso. You know that I like to use gesso if you've seen some of my past art journal pages. So this has prepared the page. It's already fully dry. I did this a couple of days ago on these magazine pages. So that will help repel, or I should say maybe not make the water soak in for the watercolor. So we'll see how it works. So I have a vision. So let me go ahead and get started. I want to use, so this is the citrus pack, and I want to use this bright yellow and some of these greens. So these are what the pens look like, and they are water-based. So there's a brush pen and then a fine nib pen. So I am going to be using the brush, and then there's the nib pen. And I'm going to get, I think this one here, just a larger brush. I'm going to get that ready, so I'm just going to go ahead and get that wet. I could put water in here, but I do like to use the tub, and since this is all plastic and nylon, I can just leave that in there. It won't disturb the ferrule. So let's see how these react on gesso, because that's the whole thing, is that sometimes on watercolor paper they're not that great, but my Statler worked well. So let's see how this works. Okay, so this is working well too. It's blending nicely on the gesso. My vision is to make like a forest scene where there's the glow of the sun here, and then it just gets darker. So I don't know. And then maybe some of those stickers that are in that book have them like vines. So I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. So I think that's enough for that yellow. I'm going to go for some of the green. This lighter green. I'm going to take actually a couple of these out. Let's see what this one looks like. I think I'll put the colors down actually first, and then I will go around with the water brush. blends really nice. This is a fun challenge because in this one too, I'm getting to use some of my art tools that I either haven't used in a while or sometimes not at all, like these. I saw them in clearance and I thought, oh, it would be a great idea. I used them on watercolor paper and I did not like the way it reacted, but I do like the way they blend with this gesso. Okay, let me see if there's a darker green. And some of these colors, whoops, sorry about that, repeat themselves in some of these packs. I'm just going to try this one, but I would like a nice dark green. This is more of an olive green. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start with my watercolors, because I know there's a nice green in here that I like. I think it's this one right here. So a blend of these two, because I really want this sort of surreal green. Here at the edges. I just want this luminosity here, so that's why I want that yellow. And then I think I will go ahead and start adding some browns. So let's see what we have in some of these packs. There's a couple of browns. I could probably add some mushrooms, some vines. Yeah, this nice darker brown. This page is a little shorter. That's just the way it ends up being trimmed. Okay, I think I'm going to just have it dry off just a little bit, but you can start to see some of that different kinds of textures in there that it's creating, which is fine because I don't want it to be a flat color. I want it to be surreal in a sense. See if you can see there. So I may get out my heat tool and just start to dry that off. Okay, dried it a little bit with the heat tool, but the heat tool is probably not something that you want to use when it's 90 degrees outside. So I'm also using my rag just to dab a little bit of that. And just wanted to show you that. And I may come back in here, I think, with a little bit more of the yellow because I do want it a little bit brighter. And I do want it dry, you know, because of adding the sticker. So I definitely want the page to be dry. And then I thought what I would do is, let's see, if I were to take a little bit more of these greens here and just dab, and if they would just kind of like flow down like that a little bit. I probably should use a spritzer, but that's okay. like that. Maybe some splashes. And then I think I'm just going to take my rag and dab. And I do want this a bit darker. Especially here at the top. Just like a dark canopy of vegetation. Maybe just a little bit more here of the lighter green. This here green with a little bit of that. Almost as if you're in a cave looking out. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and let that dry. And I can tilt the paper and just get those drippings as well, especially down here. Okay, it's fairly dry now, so I'm going to use this pen. It almost looks like a purpley brown. It doesn't have a name, it just says 697. I'm going to use this bullet point here and just draw in where I think there would be trees. So some trees, some branches. Here as well. And then I'm using this finer tipped water brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and dampen that. Yeah, so it's like a purpley brown. Just since the light is coming this way, this would be the darker side of the tree. Maybe put another one in here. Have some right in front. And the gesso underneath helps, to helps, I guess you could say, like dissolve that, but also keep it wet enough that you can still move that color. So it just doesn't absorb right away. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and maybe just let that dry just a little bit before I start placing the stickers. Maybe I'll just use this brush tip here just to make it a little bit thicker. I do want this one to be a little bit darker since it's right in front of that light source. And then maybe one day I'll come back to this journal page. Maybe I've gone hiking or something, and I can use this page as my reference for that day. All right, so just gonna go ahead and let that dry. Okay, it's fairly dry. So here's the canopy of trees, you know, the canopy of leaves for these trees. And I think one of the stickers I'm going to use is this one and put this in the foreground. Let me get rid of these here. So I want to use some of these bugs also, because I think that would be a good opportunity in this jungle type scenario. So maybe I will put this sticker here. Now these stickers do have the white around them. I could fussy cut. I could probably also maybe just come in and color if I wanted to, you know, with the paints, you know, if need be. But there's that one. And let's see what other sticker. I was thinking I wanted to put a vine coming down also. Let's see. Right, let me go searching for some other ones. Okay, there's a small mushroom that I thought would go well also in the forest. So there are different sizes of some of these stickers. And so maybe this one I can just go ahead and put here. And perhaps this clump of flowers also over here. I may need to add some glue to the back of them just to make sure that they adhere well. Maybe a moth. It's flying right here. I think I like that. And there's a couple of smaller ones, so let's go ahead and add them. Maybe I can put this vine maybe coming down from this area. So I think I'll leave it at that, because then I can always go ahead and journal maybe in this area here myself. But here's my page, and again I am going to add some glue just to make sure that those stickers do adhere well. But I do like the way this turned out, and this was, let's see, day 3, Botanical. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and again, this is the open collab, hashtag JJJC2025. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.